They were more reliant on plants and they couldn't make it. So during that time, people think like, well, the vegans will tell you that, as ice sheets were coming down, people started moving towards the equator, right? Because that's where the fruit and the honey and the bushes were, right? Well, that's actually wrong. The fossil record, I mean, a lot of people will just make things up. So always challenge people. If someone is saying something, you're like, okay, that doesn't sound right. It's like, where's your evidence for that? Ask them to prove it. They generally will not be able to do it. Maybe there's like a blog or something like that somewhere, but there will never be any hard evidence of these sorts of things. So it's, oh yeah, well, people were moving towards the equator. No, they weren't. The fossil record is very clear. People were moved as the ice sheets were coming down, people moved up into the ice because that's presumably where the megafauna was that they wanted to hunt. And so during those ice ages, there were no plants available. There was no fruit. There was no honey. There was none of that available. What was available was meat. And this is when we became apex predators. We weren't just scavengers. We weren't just sort of getting what we could. We all of a sudden became able to take down a mastodon and eat the whole thing, right? And this is when our evolution really started taking off. We were much shorter. Brains were smaller, but the brains were growing